That's me. Hi guys. Welcome. I hope that you guys are having a great Friday and are prepping up for an awesome weekend. I may or may not stream for the full duration today. I'm just going to kind of play it by ear. I had originally canceled the scheduled stream, but I woke up this morning and I felt like it would be better for me to do the normal stuff. If you are very confused, I talked a little bit more about what happened this week with me in my vlog, and won't be saying much more here because I just kind of want to do the normal Friday thing. I'm really routine driven, kind of like my dog that way, and anytime that I'm off of my normal schedule and the things that are normally supposed to be happening at a given time, I get a little more anxious than usual, so I figured I would do the normal thing, and I wanted to show you guys my gnome. She's back in the Tide Sage set. I go back and forth a lot. I think I have it set up now so that Shadow is in this set, and then I heal in the Zandalari stuff. That is, in fact, a weapon from a dungeon, thank goodness, because I was having a really hard time getting myself out of, like, this 268 weapon. So now that I have a 325, I think I'm actually 327. At a certain point, I had wanted to do mythics on stream with you guys, but I'm actually slotted in to do those tomorrow night with my guild. My husband gave me his spot, so I figure we can do some heroics, we can do some island expeditions. I still have about half of my island expedition cap yet to go. We can talk about the new Warbringers Ashara. And before I forget, hang on, let me catch up with chat a little bit. I've just been talking to myself over here. Hi guys. Victoria, back, Julia, Mara, Jill, Kaimu, Henrik. How are you guys doing? Nilzers, thanks for the super chat. The Gnome Queen is here. I am the tallest gnome queen that this world is ever going to get. That's one hot no. Aren't they, like, these are just BFA questing sets. I'm so excited for actual, like, the raid stuff. Like, obviously there's not tier sets, but also I like that she's kind of kicking her head back, and she's kind of, am I targeting something up there? No, I'm not targeting anything. I'm just looking above. I'm trying, you know what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to be not obvious about the fact that her heart is looking downwards to, like, the sea and beneath it. She's just trying to be real casual about who she's serving. Good afternoon, Hazel and stream. Good to hang out here today. Turd Snail is canon. Yeah, Turd Snail's not going anywhere unless Turd Snail crawls out of his tank and leaves. You can currently, in the fish camp, see Turd Snail on the glass on the back right-hand side. I'm gonna fill up a. I'll finish chatting. Finish chatting. It's gonna be a bit. Over the past couple days, haven't been doing video stuff, but I did spend an awful lot of time cleaning. That seemed like a good thing to do with my hands, and I spent a bunch of time with his aquarium, so it looks extra shiny today, which is why I wanted to put it on camera. I, like, went in there, like, I do the water changes and I wipe the glass down every week, but I went in with a toothbrush and found a snail under the tank on my carpet and had to put that back in. Apparently Nerites, fun Nerite snail fact, apparently they are intertidal snails, which means they will, not only do they live in both salt and fresh water and in between, which is called brackish water when it's kind of like half salty, but they'll also go through dry periods during their lives. They could just get, like, washed up on the beach somewhere and they have to wait to get, like, swept back out, or actually, I'm not really familiar with the exact, like, flow of life, but I do know they're capable of living just, like, without being in water for decent amounts of time. So as long as I keep an eye and make sure I put him back every time he gets out. Janet, thanks for the super chat. I know you're a fan of K-pop. Was wondering if you'd seen the new BTS video for Idol yet, and if you have, what did you think? I did. I watched that about 3 times or so this morning. First time without subtitles, then a few times with subtitles. And I think, like a lot of songs, it's a little, like, it's banging, but it's a little bit of a grower. It's gonna take a few plays. It felt a little bit disjointed to listen to at first. The music video just looked fantastic, but the sounds were a little jarring for a bit. But I think that they'll really mesh together. And I actually like the version that they didn't put out a video for yet that's not on the album with the Nicki verse. And there was some talk about there being potentially a second version of the music video featuring her in the next couple of days. I don't know if that's true. I've fallen and I can't get up. Tell my friend Tom, who's watching, to try WoW. Tom, you should try WoW. You don't have to play WoW if you try it and you hate it, but you should at least give it a go. Love the Transmog. It's awesome. Thanks, Dorky Panda. The Ashar-bringer Warbringer. The Ashar Warbringer is calling and I must go. You have to see it. It's so good. Not Just 7, thanks for the super chat. Thanks for all the streams. Found your TSM guides a while back. Been watching ever since. You're awesome. Thank you. I feel bad for not having yet done the TSM guides. I will get to them. Part of it is that obviously I'm just really behind in my life. I'm going to fill up a group finder group with the first 2 people that apply. We're just doing normal island expeditions, and I'm planning on running them with new people until I finish this cap. I don't know how many that is, like 2 or 3. But the first 2 people that come, don't really care about the item level. And then I will just, I'm not going to say that I'm going to lead, but I'm going to follow my heart. You guys can come with me. So I'm going to start a group in the custom section. Is there an island? Oh, there's an island section. Alright, island expedition, start a group. It's going to be for normal island expeditions. Title is going to be Hi, I'm Hazel. That's, I like cats. I wanted to bring my cat onto the stream, but she's under the couch, and when she's like really under the couch, there's no getting her out unless you bribe her, and I didn't have treats nearby. So first 2 people into that, and then I'll reform the group with new people after everyone until I've caught up with the cat for that. Fleta looks really cool today. It's because of him or more for you naming him that it now supports Soul Dynasty and Overwatch. Wow. The fan source they never expected. They're looking really good for... Oh, I hope that the second invite went out. Oh, I delist too fast. I delist too fast sometimes. I also forget the name. I'm so sorry. Okay, I need to relist. If it looks familiar, I will try to re-add the same person that almost made it in, but I actually don't remember. Oh, I'm so sorry. That was awful. Trying again. I need to, like, I wanted to delist it so that I didn't keep disappointing people that were applying that were already too late, but I forget that if you delist before somebody accepts, then they don't get in, and I'm sorry. BFA I'm pretty happy with so far. It's got some issues, but I think that the issues... Wasn't it a Warlock? I thought it was a Warlock. Was it a Warlock? I thought that the issues were... They're manageable. They're not as bad as, like, the Warlord launch issues. And I think the biggest one, which for me right now, is the mob scaling. Was it a Demon Hunter? I'm gonna pick this on the off chance that it was purple. Okay. Oh, and it delists automatically at 3 anyways. Oh my goodness. If you apply to the group and I didn't take you, I'm so sorry. That's just on me. So I'm going to give us markers, and then I will queue us up. I get to be the skull because I'm very scary. And then otherwise we go with class colors, and I queue at the table. Ellipse, thanks for the super chat. Hugs and kisses to you. Jill, thanks for the super chat. Hope you're feeling better. Headed to Seattle today. Have a great weekend. Have a great time in Seattle. I hope that the smoke has cleared up there. It's been a little bit clear over here. It hasn't been nearly smoky in the last couple of days, which is good. The temperatures also came down in Oregon. That's where I live. The temperatures came down in Oregon. It's actually like a high of 74 today, which is Celsius, like, I don't know, low 20s, 21-ish, guessing. I don't actually remember how to convert. Okay, so I'm going to be heading to, I want to head straight to... I like the X's. Basically, I just try and run around and find those big dudes that have the pillars around them, you know what I mean? Those I feel like are the juiciest of the things. Also, I'm going to use one of these. Retro Rooster, thanks for the super chat. Finishing up a sea turtle while watching you on my phone. Nice, nice, nice. Grats. Alright. I may be going the wrong way. Oh, there is good stuff over there. Well, we can always catch up. Yeah, this is kind of... I don't know. It's always a little bit of a gamble. So I pulled a good amount of stuff. I would like to Shadow Crash, and then work up to a Void Eruption. What was the thing? I was talking about the weather. I'm going to do a little Fear, pop a little Void Vampiric Embrace. That's the one. They should probably call that Void Embrace. You know, I feel like they've taken... I feel like they should make efforts to tone down the vampire references in Shadow Priest so that they can free up all of that stuff for the sake of they can free up that what's a better word than stuff? What is a better word than stuff? No. I give up. What would you say its issues are? Weird wonky scaling. The fact that you feel so weak at 120 compared to how you felt fighting all of the same things at 110, 11, 12. It's a very odd progression. As you level up, it's expected that you level up and you fight harder mobs, but you're not gaining any power. You feel actively significantly weaker. and it to some extent persists at 120. It eventually should right itself once we get to a point where we've got you know, better gear than we have presently, but it's gonna take a bit. From Eugene, smoke was better yesterday, it came back today. Hazel, I thought you were Canadian. I am. I'm an immigrant. I immigrated to America. I moved here on a K1 visa. My dad is putting together my new chair. Grats. Well, on your new chair, you'll be able to play some. You'll be able to play some. It'll be fun. You'll have a good time. Alex, thanks for the super chat. My boyfriend just moved out of state for a job, so I super appreciate you doing the stream today. They always make my day wholesome and uplifting. WoW community. Well, thank you. I hope that you enjoy the stream. I am sorry for your current. That sounds really hard. There's nothing that's really going to make that easier. But you got this. Did you get ball? No, not yet. I heard that it was a thing, and honestly, I didn't really look any farther into it than that. I have actually spent a good amount of time on WoW in the last couple of days. I wasn't able to actually go home, so I've just been kind of around here, sort of working through things on my own. And aside from obsessively cleaning my aquariums, the other thing that I've been doing is just kind of like really low-key stuff in WoW. So I did a bunch of fishing. I fished up my sea ray. I did some herbalism. I bought like 3,000 cheap fish in the auction house and then turned them into oil and sold them for more gold. I felt kind of bad about that last one, but hey, you know, they're on the auction house. Oh boy. What's going on over here? Maybe I'm not equipped to do mythic dungeons. Oh, there is a chest there. I could have sworn that I saw a marker. Alright, so he says that there's a huge cluster of crystals nearby. I wonder if it's passing up north. Julia, thanks for the super chat. Love your streams. All my best to you, Hazel. Thank you. I like BFA more than Legion so far. I think that's fair. I think that Legion had a similarly mostly well put together launch, but the big issue with it was, why can't we kill? Oh, that one's evading. Well, Legion had a mostly put together launch, but the shadow that really hung over the Legion early patch for me was legendaries and the legendary grind. And I guess if you got lucky in that grind, then you probably had a pretty decent Legion, but it was so RNG and it was so grindy that I think for a lot of people, myself included, if you didn't get your best one early, you just felt utterly crippled for ages. And like, I, as a Shadow Priest, early on in Legion really needed a Sifuz. Seems weird because everybody hated Sifuz, but like after they patched it, like the post-patch Sifuz that had a ton of haste, very important for Shadow Priests. And I just couldn't get it for ages and ages, like not until like halfway through the expansion. It was one of the very last legendaries that I got. And on top of the insult of like doing all this content and not getting the thing that I needed, you also have to deal with everybody is, you know, you see it drop for other people in your guild and they go, ew, this garbage. And you're like, no, you don't talk that way about my precious. Kaimu, thanks for the super chat. Thanks for always keeping me company when I play WoW. You keep it from getting lonely. Love from North Dakota. Thank you. Do you have any profession guides? I did a couple of videos covering profession changes early on. I did one looking at fishing changes and one looking at the new herbs, but that was a while ago. I don't have any new guides for professions. They're fairly straightforward now. I will, when I redo TSM guides, which is not yet, not until after raid guides, when I do TSM guides, there will be a section on how to use TSM features to identify what you can craft as far as gold making goes. But for other stuff, it's fairly straightforward. You can see everything that you know how to make and everything that you don't know how to make in your journal. And in the unlearned section of your journal, maybe there's a recipe that you want to learn how to make. It'll not only tell you what you don't know yet, but it'll tell you where to find it. So everything is pretty much handed to you in the user interface. So, are we good yet? No, we need another 1,000. Wow, I'm a terrible. Oh, there it is. My dude. These are my dudes. I love these things. And then there's like a couple more over there. Let's start with the big one. We'll work our way that way if we need it, which we probably will. It probably won't be quite enough. Also, there's a shovel out there. It's probably for a quest. I had a legendary with the first world boss in Legion ever. I remember grinding for quite a while before I got my first one, and I played a lot more during the Legion launch than I have so far for the BFA launch. It took me a bit, and then the first one that I got was actually the I got the wrist. Actually, that wasn't the worst thing ever. I got the wrists were okay, but you know what? Legion's in the past. We can move on. We don't need to worry. I threw them all. Well, I would have thrown all my legendaries in the trash. I was quite mad with them. I was quite angry with their, like, not necessarily about the whole system. I thought that it was kind of like a 6 out of 10 for me. but just having the stuff in my bags after I was done with it, and the fact that I couldn't delete or render them, infuriating. So what I ended up doing instead was I stuck them in void storage, most of them. What do you think about the Shatterproof rework coming in 8.1? I will have to see what they rework, I guess. I'm reasonably happy with it so far. It is a little bit of a change from what we had previously. It's now more focused on getting into rapid void forms as opposed to extending long ones. So it's basically just a shift to make us better at cleave and less good at sustain single target. But I think that's partly a problem that's going to solve itself at higher haste levels. So they may or may not just add something to kind of help patch that gap until we get higher haste levels, or they might, I don't know what they're going to do, we'll see. But I'm reasonably happy with it now, and I'm also reasonably optimistic about changes. It takes a lot for me to not like something, though. I'm pretty tolerant. My cat just knocked over her entire water dish, BRB Hazel. Oh no. Oh man. You know, I can type thanks. Yeah, my cat with the water. She doesn't really knock over the water. Sometimes the dog will if he's getting really excited and he's like tapping his feet. You know, dogs do the tippy tap thing sometimes. He'll do that sometimes. He'll knock over his water. They share water. We used to have a separate one for the cat, but she would never ever use it. And the thing that the cat does with the water is that she will not drink from it if it is not pristine, which is fair. You know, you want clean water for animals, but like if I just put it out and the dog's eating food and he like drops a piece of kibble in the water and the cat decides that she wants to drink, she will sit right in front of it and she will look at you wherever you are, and she makes a very specific meow, like a fetch me fresh water peasant, this one is now cereal meow. And like whenever you hear that sound, you know that there's food in her water and you need to clean it. And more recently she started doing that if there's not food in the water, and if she just decides it is not fresh enough. And it's probably my fault because I always get her fresh water. But yeah, she does that. Wondering if you were having issues with TSM scanning everything in your bags instead of what you have in that group. No, but I always do full, like, I always scan everything. I don't do selective scans these days. I may at some point, but I scan everything to post at once. I don't play as my Void Elf because I decided to play as my Gnome. I'm going to make another group, and this time I'm not going to delist it. I'm going to let the game delist it for me. So we're going to go ahead and start one, same name, and I'm just going to take the first two and let it delist. I did see the Warbringer. I thought it was pretty cool. The Azerite Shard World Quests feel like they give so little AP, at least compared to Legion artifacts. I don't feel terribly motivated Azerite-wise at all. They did not add any research this week, but they will starting next week. So I don't feel like I'm going to be terribly punished for not crazy grinding it, so I don't even worry about Azerite World Quests. I also don't terribly worry about, what am I gonna say? Reputation World Quests either. Like, I figure I'm going to be doing World Quests and getting reputation anyways, and I will probably be doing World Quests long past the point that I get Exalted. Like, if you think back to Legion, you had Exalted in all the World Quest reps in, like, you know, 3 weeks of a 2-year expansion. Not a big deal. So I don't really stress about the rep ones. The only ones that I'm really doing are gear ones that give me gear upgrades, war resources, because I'm always starved for those right now, and then yeah, so I wanna just stack out on the spearmint gum is where it's at. That's the only thing I really use the doubloons for. 20% damage for 10 minutes is pretty good. Like, the dodge ones are okay too. I'll take one of those, but I would rather be running around with the gum to try and cleave things down, because I always pull everything. Where did I thought I bought a thing. Did I not buy one? Did I forget to confirm? I'm probably looking right at it. Oh well, that's fine. So I figure this is fairly straightforward. We can just take a direct route in, we can hit the X, and then all that stuff, and then the X. Head straight into the mountain. The World Quest Finder add-on that I have right now is World Quest List. However, I haven't really been using it for group finding. I have been using it for the quest list functionality, I should say. So you need a poultice, so hopefully we come across that. Oh, there's a poultice right here. Look at that. That's easy enough. I've lost my train of thought. Oh, World Quest Finding. Yeah, so I've just been like, if it's a quest that I feel like very much benefits from doing it in a group, then I will try to find one in the group finder manually, or I will list one manually. And if I actually list the group, reminds me, I did promise that I would talk about this in the stream, so I will. I did actually find... Hang on, what am I saying? Yeah, I'll manually list the group, and if I'm the leader of the group, what I do is I keep the invite pane open on my screen. So I'm running around doing the world quest with a third of my screen blocked by the pane, so that if anybody does apply, I can instantly invite them by clicking on it because I have it open. So I'm basically doing things in the exact same way that I did previously. I'm just now doing them with more clicking, which I'm sure is exactly what they were going for. Good game, Hazel. Hello. Hope all is well. Lag between the game and the stream is messing with me. Yeah, and it's the game. There's an intergame stream lag, and that's usually about 20 seconds, and then there's an additional one that is between chat and then me reading chat. I'm usually a little bit far behind there too. Get the fresh chips, easy healing. Yeah, I can heal myself though. Like I can usually shadow mend back up, so I'm not usually that worried about the healing thing. What's the earth blast? Oh, I like large clusters. Where could it be? I'm still trying to figure out the exact differences between the X's, the skulls, and the clumps. Because obviously the clumps, I've seen them be chests, I've seen them be little shards, I've seen them be like turkey sandwiches people have left on the floor. The skulls are obviously bosses, but sometimes I feel like the X's can be both. I don't really understand their mapping system. But as long as you just run around and do stuff reasonably quickly, it seems to be okay. I've only been doing them on normal. I heard that heroics were a little bit frustrating, and I looked at the reward difference, and I was like, why would I do heroic? Chips are a lifesaver in higher modes. Oh, that might make sense. My experience of island expeditions and my strategies are definitely tailored towards just kind of like running through them on normal in order to get your weekly cap done. Do you actually, good question, is do you reach your weekly cap more quickly when you run them on higher difficulties? Like, do you need less than 7? I guess we head down this way. Do you need less than 7 if you're gonna do it on like heroic or mythic or whatever? I feel super overwhelmed with the world quest plus dungeons I need to do. I don't feel great, so I've been leveling my mage instead. It's definitely, I totally feel that. Like there's not like, at 120 I found that there's world quests, there's dungeons. I was doing profession quests. I had not finished, and I still haven't finished, the war campaign, and then I also hadn't finished questing, like all of the zone quest achievements. So I was doing some of that, and then I was trying to explore and trying to work towards Pathfinder and trying to get some rep. And it's just, there's a lot to keep up with, and it's not very clearly laid out the priorities as to how, like, why you need to do each thing. Like, it's not made very easy for you to determine what's more important. So I ended up just kind of running around at random and being like, well, I guess I'll do a dungeon here and Island Expedition here, and maybe do some quests here. Like, it's hard to kind of get a feel for when you should be doing stuff, which I think is just a side effect of having so many things to do and them not really wanting to overwhelm you with quest prompts. But it's not a... I think BFA is actually a great expansion, and this isn't really the best reason in the world, but it's an unintentionally great expansion to be a content creator, because I feel like video and article guides have a greater place in WoW than they have for a long time, because they're actually, like, for a while, you know, video guides are useful, and if you're stuck on something, they can provide good tips, but they never really felt critically necessary, and these days, there's plenty of things where I feel like they are very necessary, or at least, if you want to do something efficiently, you're absolutely going to need to look up kind of like a list. I'm going to try and catch up a little bit here. Skulls are rare. The X means there's an Azerite source. Could be anything, basically. Okay. That's the part of it, the piece of info I was missing. I didn't really realize what the skull, or not the skull, I didn't really know what the big X's kind of signified. I just like finding these big dudes that have the big crystals. That's kind of my favorite. They seem like the best thing to do. I once had an island expedition where it was nothing but those dudes and then the smaller dudes that also had crystals, just like on the beach up in a straight line. It was great. Could you please do a dab? I could. I won't. How's it going? Except Tim. Normals give 6k, heroics give 9k, makes 12k. Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. Once you get better gear, it does make more sense to do the higher difficulty ones. That makes sense. The Island Expedition weekly lockout, it's not exactly a lockout. You can do as many as you like per week. You can pretty much spam them endlessly, but there is a bonus big chunk of AP that you get after you reach a certain amount of Azerite collected. I believe it works out to 7 of the normal ones done, and presumably, as people are saying, less like you'll have to do fewer expeditions to reach that cap if you do them on higher difficulties. You can track that cap at the mission board where you, not the mission board, the island expedition board where you send out and head off for your island expeditions. It's in a big bar on the top. Hazel, your vids are awesome. Good luck with your mount hunts. Thanks, Jillian. I actually went and, on Tuesday, actually, pretty shortly after the stream, I went and moved, I took all my characters back out of the raid in Netherstorm, and I flew them to Area 52 and set my Hearthstone there so that if I ever run the raid and I forget to port them out, that they'll just get ported out to Area 52. And also, I can like log in, run the raid, and then just Hearth. And at the end of that, that means that they're gathering rested experience, which they weren't before, so it'll make it a little easier to level my alts. Right now, and I understand that they kind of start off expansions in a fairly alt-unfriendly state of the game so that you don't feel obligated to do, I don't know the exact reasoning, but they tend to add the alt-friendlier stuff later. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and this one, and try to get a little bit of healing out with my Vampiric Embrace. That thing is almost dead. I'm going to shadow him in a little bit. Disperse a little bit. Alright, that one's almost dead too. Oh wow, we have 3 rares, no wonder. I noticed that, you know what really strikes me about Island Expeditions is that somehow, despite the fact that they never really claimed to be this, I feel like Island Expeditions managed to be more like Diablo Rifts than Invasion Points ever really ended up being. And I thought that originally when I saw the Invasion Point design that those really felt the most Rift-like. You know, you go into a thing, you kill a bunch of stuff, you kill a boss, you get loot. And these don't even have loot, which you would think is a very integral part of doing Rifts, but these, for whatever reason, just like all the rares around and the randomness of it all, makes it seem way more, what is this? Is it a buff? Oh, I'm carrying a runestone. Good. For the gnomes, thanks Timmy, appreciate the super chat. Have you tried healing the other pre-specs? Nope. And well, actually that's not true, that's a lie. I heal as holy when I need to in order to get dungeon queues. Or if like my friends really need me to heal, and I'm also feeling very generous because I'm really weird about that. But only holy. I haven't touched Dis in a really long time. I don't really know why. I'm sure it's a great spec. Lots of great people play it. All my friends are Dis. I don't know. Sometimes in WoW there's just things that you just don't do. So this should get us pretty close, yeah? The key to Mythic and somewhat heroic is you have to get the big Azerite dude that spawns. If you don't, you lose. That would make sense. I feel like a big part of doing Mythic, and to some extent heroic, but Mythic's for sure, and I think this is kind of a given because I think you have to queue with a group, but like doing it with friends in voice chat so that you can at least coordinate a little bit where you're going, because I've done quite a few of these where everybody just kind of runs off in different directions, and sometimes that works, and most of the time it doesn't. I have not tried getting Ball yet, no. The Warbringer vid, I really loved it. I enjoyed the part where she was just like staring angstily at the fish and the fish started talking to her. I related a lot to the fish theme. Also, it looked like a very cool fish. Is it better to play as DPS when doing or tanking island expeditions? I think it would depend on your class. As far as I know, bears are better than cats if you're a druid, but I don't know if that same rule applies to different specs. I'm not Hazel, I have 3 priests and Dis is amazing right now. I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it's great. I'm not against it for any rational reason. So this is, alright, so I think that was my cap. So if I look at the board, you see I have this board here, or this bar here says I've gotten my 40k Azerite, gives you a little completed, and at that point I have a quest I can turn into Flynn, and he's going to give me 2500 Azerite power, which is a pretty big chunk of my bar, so that's why you do those. Anyone got any mounts or pets? I spanned them for a whole day, got nothing, no idea where I should look. So they are, they are end of game random rewards. I got one. Let's get into some light here. This guy. I got my Scuttle. He dropped for me. This one's kind of special because this is one of the, like, I actually drew a picture of this for Patreon art a few months back because I just thought he had so much personality with his hat. I haven't leveled him yet. I'm actually thinking of the BFA pets when I finish collecting them. I've officially collected like 2. for my BFA pets, I think I actually want to level them using 2-pet leveling, like the old-fashioned way. I want to preserve my pet stones for leveling Patreon giveaway pets, I think, especially because they're going to be harder to get now. So I haven't leveled him yet, I haven't used him yet, but he is super cool to have around, and I noticed that when I first got him, because I got him pretty early, that on the auction house, they were going for like a lot of gold, so I was like, okay buddy, you're a pirate, you'll understand, you know, you'll understand this. I'm just going to put you on the auction house for like a few days, you know, at 200k. If somebody wants to take you for 200k, I will accept that. And if it doesn't, then you'll come home with me, and you'll get over it, because you're a pirate, you know. Danny, thanks for the super chat. Thanks for all your amazing videos, Hazel. Keep up the good work. Appreciate that. Hang on. I thought I saw an aquarium question and I must find it. My husband and 2 of my friends got inky. My daughter started crawling at the same time as release. So tired from chasing her all day. Too tired to play WoW in the evenings. And I'm only 112. Aw. Well, congrats on your milestone. There will be so much time for WoW. There will be so much time for WoW. But I wish you a good night's sleep soon, I hope. I want to do some dungeons. I'm going to try and catch up in chat a little bit, and then I'm going to try and do some heroic dungeons with you guys. For that, I'm going to be aiming for, like, what, 305, 310 or so? I think 305 is, like, the regular queuing item level, so that should be totally fine. Heal for you anytime. YouTube's not loading for me. I am streaming. It looks like there might have been a technical issue. Hopefully it comes up. At least the chat still seems to be working. I got to Gnome it up with Hazel in the Island Expedition. Do you play in PvP or with AI? There are modes for both, if you're asking generally speaking. I play against AI. I have no interest in doing the PvP thing yet, and I believe if you are going to do the PvP thing, you do need to queue up with a group. The nitrogen cycle, you can do fission cycle, it's harder and it takes longer. So I missed the original question, but I will say that with the nitrogen cycle thing, like a fission versus a fishless cycle, not only will a fishless cycle be faster and less work, it's also vastly more healthy and less cruel for the fish. Fission cycles are, like, some fish can live through it, but there's no guarantee that your fish won't sustain damage, won't sustain ammonia burns, things that will reduce its quality of life for the rest of its life. Plus, you're doing water changes every day. It's not a good time. So, I know it's hard to have patience, but research the fishless cycle. It's more than pet stores tell you, which is really frustrating, because people get excited about a fish, they go pick out a tank, they pick a fish, and then they realize there's all this stuff that sounds like it's really annoying and expensive and time-consuming and gets in the way of you getting your fish, which you're really excited about, but it's so important. And once you've done it the first time and you've got a properly established cycle, then for any future tanks that you want, and you probably will want some, you're pretty much set up. You can then seed filters in your new tank. So for dungeons, I would like to make a dungeon, start a group. We're going to be doing random heroics. Group name is also going to be Hi, I'm Hazel. Description is going to be I like fish this time. Got to spread the love around. For the Alliance, hi everyone. Hi Seraphim. Watching your Una guide because apparently you need her to get the ball pet. I did hear about that. Do you have a favorite TV show? I've seen some different. Oh no, Gallivant. Gallivant is up there. Gallivant is up there. Holy is my main. Holy is amazing. Am I wrong to think that a 3-week-old kitten with hiccups is super cute? No, not at all. Also, Hazel loves fish like I love the turtle, guys. Scrolling ahead, catching up. Do you have a favorite dungeon so far? I love King's Rest. I haven't done King's Rest yet. So far, I think my favorite is probably... Hang on, I gotta look at them. Here, I'm gonna list this. And then, I gotta look at them. I'm DPSing, by the way, so we need 1 healer, 1 tank, and 2 DPS. So dungeons, I really liked... Waycrest Manor, actually. Which I know is weird because it's got like the extra boss and it's really confusing to navigate, and I'd like you could stick me in there and I would not know how to get around. Okay, so 1 DPS, 2 DPS, 1 healer, now we just need a tank. Hazel, when do I get world quests? You need to be friendly with the 3 major questing factions. So for Alliance, that's Proudmoore Admiralty, Storm's Wake, and Order of Embers, whereas for Horde, it's Talengee's Expedition, the Zandalari Empire, and the Voldenai. If you don't have those reps yet, then you want to go ahead and quest. Just continue doing story quests in those zones until you get up to that point of rep. Okay, so thank you for joining. Welcome to my super cool group. I will try my very best to participate. So we're doing random heroics. Tips for pets or just hope for the best? Depends on what you mean as far as like collecting or battling them. Hoping for the best is usually a good starting point, though, I will say that. So what's this one? Shrine of the Storms? Shrine of Storms, that's good. I am significantly better at the ones that I've done video guides for. I was starting to work through I'm gonna eat a little bit of food. I was starting to work through Shrine of Sethrulus and Toldagora guides, but I've decided to just let those go and start working on raid guides over the weekend. Blood for Gahoon. Any tips for... Oh, no, I read that one already. I'm vicariously playing through your streams. Okay, I got my food. We have buffs. I have 8 coastal healing potions. I've been meaning to sell those. I was actually going to talk a little bit about that. Not that it's a... I say that like it's an important thing. It's not an important thing. I have been, for the last expansion or two, doing a lot of... Here, I'll put the DPS meter... I'll move it over the... Oh, no, I can't move it. I've got it locked. Never mind. I was going to move it so you guys can see it and you know, be in awe of how good you guys are compared to me, because I'm probably not going to do a whole lot of damage. But it's locked right now, and I don't want to go in the options to unlock it. I have been enchanting for a while, and more recently, I'm going to give you actually a big old circle so we can keep an eye on you. Ah, the skull marking. I love it. And here... Did I just dot one of them? I think I dotted the same one twice.
Beware.
So I have kick on the right one if they try to cast the Healy thingy. Seems fine. I am getting my butt handed to me in DPS, though. I just want to put that out there. You guys are wrecking me. Got in his heels. Live streams. Fingers are dumb. One of your last veg streams. Veg streams. Imagine like an eating stream, except instead of good food, it's just like carrot sticks. Like the worst ASMR ever. I was thinking about one day doing a stream that somebody requested that I thought was just the strangest idea ever. And it would be a stream on probably like a Friday, where I stream the entire process of filming my vlogs and then editing and uploading it. Like I would probably find a way... Oh, I've aggroed some stuff, I'm sorry. Void Eruption, you know. Void Eruption is the new barrage. But, oh, that's Heating Blow. I thought that was Healing Blow. My bad. But yeah, like, theoretically, no plans for this anytime soon. It's just such a strange idea. But, like, I would have probably different parts of the UI showing you my different monitors so you can see how I, like, move my files around and the, like, the color editing and the sound editing that I do. You can watch the painfully embarrassing and super slow process of filming a vlog before I edit it, where I actually say things. Each sentence, an average, depending on how in my groove I am, sentences will be said between like 5 and 2 times. And then I pick the one that I like the sound of the best, because I just can't speak when I'm trying to. I feel like I'm articulate enough outside of that. I just can't commit to a set of words. Like I'll start talking and then I'll just give up and start over again because I didn't quite like it, which is funny because I have a lisp sometimes. It's not like I'm always making the right sounds. I should probably just get over it.
Beware.
I thought the queue popped for me. Oh, is it really loud again? I can turn it down if it's really loud. I thought I'd turn it. It shouldn't be that bad. Do you need the rep for World Quest in all alts, or is it account wide? My understanding is that it's account wide. I may be incorrect on that though. That one's down. I'm gonna try and pay just enough attention to hopefully help. I'm not trying to make you guys carry me. That would be if we had done misses. Instance guides were great. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching them. Oh. So that one's almost done. I super appreciate that we haven't pulled everything ever here, because this is a really difficult area to damage through if you get a bunch of ads. What do you think about Mythic TOS? Temple of Storms? Doable, but due to some mechanics and scaling, it seems to need tuned down. I haven't done a single Mythic 0 yet. I'm planning on doing my first ones this weekend. I've only been doing heroics, and not even that many of them, honestly. A lot of my gear's from World Quest. Actually, that reminds me, I have not yet done my emissary for today. Okay, I'm going to ignore chat for a minute just so that I can not get knocked off here, and I'm probably going to jinx myself by saying that, get knocked off anyways. Advice for people that have never done dungeons before. I would say watch a video guide. I got a couple of them first so that you kind of have like a visual idea of what's going on. Then you start at the lowest difficulty, and sometimes I actually get out of chat. I don't know if I actually recommend that, but if I don't know. If I'm having a lot of anxiety about doing a thing in a game, like a pug group, for example, sometimes if I'm tanking LFR and I'm not feeling incredibly confident tanking, but I feel like I know enough to have the mechanics. I will just tab out of chat, like party chat. Tanks can still whisper me to help coordinate stuff, but I won't have... Oh, I need to get that tentacle down. I won't have a group chat in. But yeah, take it easy. Just do the lowest difficulty available until you're comfortable with it and feel ready to move on up. Don't rush it, and don't let anybody get to you. Guides definitely hugely help, though. I found that I have way more anxiety about doing group content if I don't really know what's going on, because then I feel like if somebody calls me bad, they're right, because like if somebody says I don't know what I'm doing, that's true. Whereas in I'm gonna stand by this one, stop him from sea blasting. Do we have a skull? Did we mark one? Not really. That's fine. Okay, we can cleave. Looks like we're hitting that one mostly. So there's choking brine coming out. Surging rushes want to get knocked off, which is a little bit tough in this stage. Here we go. Should be one undertow going out. But yeah, I always found going in with a little bit of research done helped me feel more confident about it, and knowing what everything looked like was good. Oh, with the island pets? Yeah, no, you just have to hope for the best. There's no way to get them any faster than hoping for the best. I don't know yet whether or not they have greater drop rates on higher difficulties. It could be true, it could be not true, I don't know. But I've just been spamming them for my weekly. I'm assuming that we're going to want to continue spamming them for the weekly for quite a while, for some time. So I would just not stress about getting them too quickly. I've actually been struggling with the moral debate of, moral debate's a strong word. I've been struggling with the, like the conflicting desires of collecting new pets and also having gold, because, like, for example, I've been doing Pet Battle World quests for pet charms whenever those are up, and recently got enough charms to get my first pet, and I bought one, and then I was like, well, it's early in the expansion, what if I could sell it? I'm trying to get together some gold, or at least a nest egg worth of gold that's investment worthy, so that I can start working towards grinding out the gold that I would want to buy a caravan Brutosaur. I'm very far away from that right now. I'm starting from basically scratch, and I'm not really doing the things that have made me the most gold. I don't like have groups set up to flip purples yet or anything. I've just been selling crafting mats, so anytime there's like an opportunity for, you know, like I could get that pet again later. It's only going to be worth this much now. I may or may not be trying to sell a pet chart pet. Got your DBM voice pack. I gotta say it's great because now I can understand the alerts. Thank you so much. I am glad it's working out for you. I do have a DBM voice pack. I do. It's linked. Where is it linked? I think if you just go search Hazelnutty wherever you get your add-ons, it should pop up on like the Twitch app and the Curse page and whatnot. Carrot sticks are awesome. Carrot sticks are not to be shaded. Carrot sticks are one of my preferred method of raw snacking vegetables. I don't know how good they are for you, especially not since I dip them in ranch, but they're crunchy, they're orange, they're yummy. I like eating them. I especially enjoy eating them now because I used to work I've worked a couple of jobs before, and one of my first jobs was working at a gas station, kind of like in a little convenience store. And I used to work pretty late shifts, and it was pretty quiet, and I would have to eat kind of while working. Like, we had quote-unquote lunch breaks, but our employer was not very sympathetic about you actually taking them, and it was encouraged that you just kind of like eat at the register whenever there weren't really a lot of people there. So I would eat, and I would bring carrot sticks as one, not as my only food, but as one of the things that I would eat. And I say carrot sticks. What I mean was I brought a carrot. I had just moved out of my own. I was living alone and it was my first job, and I did not have no time to be chopping up carrots into sticks and putting them into a bag, you know. I was living my life, and I didn't see any reason why I should chop up a lowly carrot. I was just going to eat it like a rabbit, like a Bugs Bunny. So I did that. And I would take a big mouthful of carrot, and, oh, thank you. I think I may have done something wrong. I was really embroiled in my carrot story. I can't, no, you can't silence that. I should have stood within the ward, actually. That would have helped me out a lot. That's my bad. Carrots and milk? Who said anything about milk? Did I say milk? I didn't mean milk. I never do carrots and milk. Carrots and ranch. Maybe that's what you mean by milk. But, what am I thinking? Yeah, so I'd take a big bite of carrot out of this carrot, and then somebody would inevitably, even though nobody had been in the shop for like an hour, somebody would walk in, and I would be trying to assist them with their purchase with like a big mouthful of carrot. And I don't know if you've ever tried to quickly chew and swallow a big mouthful of carrot, but it is very difficult to do. Luckily, alright, so I'm standing in the ward this time. Luckily, people seem to think that it was hilarious, and I didn't actually get reprimanded for that. Not that my boss was there anyways, he was never there for late shifts, but... yeah, so to get to the point of this really pointless carrot story, I now extra appreciate eating carrots, although I do now chop them into lowly sticks. Because I work from home and I work alone, there's nobody else here, and nobody cares how long it takes me to chew my carrots, and nobody's gonna try and talk to me. So I can chew my carrots at my own pace, and I appreciate that. I'm having a hard time getting everything just dotted evenly. And back to the gameplay, there we go. I should get out of that. I'm always judging people, but not judging people. I try to, when I do the alerts, make guides that I would be receptive to, and I'm always a little bit better at doing something in a dungeon or raid if the person making the suggestion is just like 5% judgy about it. Like, I have this one guild leader, raid leader kinda, that will make suggestions, and usually he does so when he's very frustrated and he thinks it's clearly very obvious what we need to be doing, which it is. Beware. And like, anytime that, like, I knew what the mechanic was and I was always doing it best, but whenever the edict would come down that we should definitely do this thing because we're being dumb, and it had that like extra edge Beware. Of you know, what's the word? Emotional toxicity to it. That would always make me work extra hard. Maybe it has the opposite effect on some people, and I'm sure it would have the opposite effect if I did not respect my guild leader. But I never wanted to be the person making the dumb mistake after he had iterated just how dumb it was. So whenever I do my raid guides, or my dungeon guides, I try to put just like the tiniest amount of that into it, but then it makes me super hypocritical when I'm like making this guy being like, don't step in the thing, and then I get on stream and I immediately step in the thing. Like, it's, I'm a special kind of character. I'm gonna scroll ahead to catch up a little bit. 115k tokens. I'm surprised that the price is going down so much. I still don't think I'm going to buy them, and maybe that's part of the reason why the price is coming down. There are fewer people buying them because people actually have value for their gold now. And people need their gold because they're leveling professions, they're saving up for all of these new gold sinks, and the gold sinks I think are very compelling, which is something that hasn't necessarily been the case for the entire time. You should try baby carrots. They are nice. They are, but they're basically just like pre-chopped carrots. Like, there's actual baby carrots are very good, but they're not really, they're kind of a different thing. Baby carrots that you like get in a bag that are like those little tiny beets pill-shaped things, those are just carrots that were weird shapes that they cut into that shape because they're easier to sell like that. Cody, thanks for the super chat. Hazel, the wife and I are glad you're back and doing okay. Thank you very much for your kindness and your support. Hi Hazel, I caught you live for the first time. Welcome, Barium.
Beware.
Are you guys taking bets on whether or not we're doomed here? I need to be focusing one target. I'm kind of cleaving, and that's not necessarily the right thing to do. That apprentice is almost dead. That initiate's almost dead. There we go. We're actually... The cleavesters are cleaving right through this. I am helping in a marginal capacity.
Beware.
What's your guys' favorite dungeon so far? Like, I know I said I liked Whitecrest Manor, but what do you guys... Of the ones that you've done, which one is the most of a feels good man to meme? Which one are you most excited about when you queue into it? I like what you do. Thank you. The sleeper OP this expansion, Spell Steal, mages rarely use it and it's great. There's a lot of stuff to like offensively dispel, especially in this dungeon, but in a variety of dungeons there's a lot of stuff to offensively dispel. And the buff that you're offensively dispelling tend to be really good. Bone Shield in... What instance has a bunch of ads that get Bone Shield? I forget. There may be more than one of them. But I am constantly just spamming my Dispel to take it off. But if I was a mage and I could have that, like, that's way better. Or there's, you know, there's haste buffs. It's good stuff. I play on NA. I have an EU account. I mostly use it to do pet giveaways on both regions. I don't actually play it a whole lot. I don't really play any alts right now, though. But this character's definitely on NA. I was thinking that I would get my alts sort of set up and rolling sooner in the expansion. But the thing that's kind of holding me back from my original plan, originally I wanted to, fairly early on, get my characters leveled up and get their mission tables running because I knew there were going to be gold missions and I wanted to have access to those. But, you know, I'm on this character that took me quite a bit of time to level and quite a bit of time at max level to get more geared, and you know, she still doesn't have the good missions yet. The missions that I'm getting are still fairly minimal, you know, 100 gold, an extra 85 if you succeed double or whatever. And those aren't really worth it yet, and also you're so starved for war resources. I think that maybe in a little bit, if they add any way to make leveling and gearing and catching up additional characters faster, maybe it'll be more worthwhile. Maybe later once Azerite power research ramps up so that at 120 you can at least have access to all your traits in the Azerite gear that you managed to get your hands on. Might help, because you're going to have to play. There's not going to be a Warlords model of having a bunch of alts and not being able to, like having a bunch of alts and being able to never play them and do nothing but just sort of like sit and work through it. Oh, so that is a staff. It's 325. Oh, I think that's a really good one. Those are the, I think the equip is good. Is it not good? Like, I know haste is good for me, so I think I need that. I'm going to try wearing it and see if it does any better. It looks cool. It's got a, actually I know that's supposed to be like an old god eye, but you know what it looks like? It's one of those weird metal house decorations that people put on the outside walls of their homes. King's Rest, you adore the aesthetic. Siege of Borleth was nice. Man, I haven't done those ones yet. I'm missing some rep. I don't have enough rep to do the next stage of war campaign yet. I'm still kind of waiting on, what am I waiting for? I'm waiting for it to get to be easier. Like, I do world quests out in the other zones when there's things that I want from them, but I'm not specifically grinding any given reputation. I kind of figure they'll happen when they happen. I'm not too worried about it. I know that there's good gear behind the reps, and that's a good reason to grind rep, but I also don't think it's really worth, like, going super ham. You know, it's gonna happen at some point. And, Rolando, thank you very much for the super chat. Appreciate the support. Love your videos. Thank you. Thoughts on the tortillas quests? Oh, boy. A turtle has made it to the water. Love her. She's a real... I don't even know what to say. Love her. Scroll Sage Nola. You can't forget the name. She's a real OG. What am I saying? Yeah, so the only two that I've actually done so far are... A turtle has made it to the water, and then the turtle... They're all turtle ones. And then the other turtle one where you're navigating the maze with those buttons that make you move forward 2 spaces. I think I prefer the beachhead one because it's, at least you feel like you have a more active role. With those other ones, you stare at it for like 8 seconds and you figure out what the solution is, and then the rest of it you're just like using these really clunky feeling controls to like scooch this turtle through a thing that you've already figured out. And it's not like I want them to make the puzzles harder, it's that I want the turtle to be, and I get that it's a turtle, that's the whole point, but it's, it feels artificially slow in a way that I don't think any of the Kirin Tor quests really did. Almost have enough Hydra cores for a 355. Nice. Finally get to watch someone play the new expansion live. You should play it yourself if you have the ability to, and if you don't, then you definitely should once you get to a place where you can, because it's pretty good stuff. It's not perfect. It's pretty good stuff though. Look at all these tentacles. Any expansion with this many tentacles, and they're like, you know, there's octopus tentacles, there's old god tentacles, there's old god octopus tentacles. Can we talk about the Warbringer Ashara and what a deep communion that lady had? Like, the fact that N'Zoth was just like, sup, I'm a fish, just made me instantly, like, his biggest fan ever. Like, that is my dad. That is my king. You know, Anduin's cool and all, but, like, the fish. Will you main your priest in BFA too? That is my plan. There's a memory game one? Yeah, so I heard that there was, like, a flipping matching memory game one. And I haven't done that one yet. I just haven't seen it up, or like, it must have been up, but I haven't needed to do it yet. So I'm interested to see, I'm interested to try it when that becomes a thing. Need a new buff. Okay, I'm gonna try and actually do some damage to this pole. So I start with that one, this one. I'm always dotting too early. Like, you need to dot relatively early, because obviously if the thing is gonna live for a while, you want to get your dots up on it. But there are several things that are higher priority than your dots that you really want to get the cooldown ticking on, namely your Shadow Bender, Mind Bender, and your Shadow Crash. Those are pretty important. So, oh, I should have moved. That's my bad. Oh, thank you. You want to be basically firing both of those things on cooldown. You want to start with them. So whenever I'm doing poor damage, it's usually because I didn't do that. Like, see here, I'm actually doing reasonably okay in this pull. And then the other thing is often, like, I'm still trying to dot everything up, but I could Void Eruption. You just want to Void Eruption and dot things when you can. Especially if they're not even going to live crazy long. Like, I'm trying to play it like an Affliction Warlock, and I need to change the focus a little bit. So I like starting with Mind Blast equivalent, but that's not the correct thing to do. That's not the correct thing to do. You want to start with the other stuff. Darn it. I've done this. See, this one I've done wrong. So these ones, they all have shields. I was going to dispel some, but it turns out I don't need to. We're going to get some more pats in a second. That's fine. I'm going to hold my... Oh, I should be staying a little bit farther back. My bad. I was going to hold my Shadow Crash until we pulled them so I could get some more benefit of that. That's good. One of these, and then we can start dotting them up. As long as it's cooling down. I think that's the important thing. I've been reading the How To Priest Guide, but I need to read it a few more times and, like... It's not that different, but it's a little different. Also, How To Priest has actually rebranded to Warcraft Priests, and that was just bizarre because, I mean, it's fine, it's fine. But, I was curious to know if there was, like, if there were people that were going to howtopriest.com, like, wanting to know how to join the clergy and become an actual priest, and were like, what is all of this about vampirism? Is this some kind of cult? Like, was that a thing, or did they just feel like it made more sense, like they thought that How To Priest was a dated name? In any case, I find it to be mildly inconvenient only because I now have to type so much of the name before my browser will auto-suggest Warcraft Priests instead of Warcraft Pets, because I also use that site a lot. Old Godfish, what are your thoughts on the creepy Tea Party quest? I kind of liked it. Is that bad? Totally fine to like it. It's not like you're glad that it happened, and like in story. It's not like you're glad that all the people died. It's just like it's a cool kind of style. It's a cool atmosphere and aesthetic. It's a well-told story. There's nothing wrong with liking a well-told story. Now this priest will be my main. Hazel confirmed Old God Worshipper. We've known that for a while. Just saw a Basset Hound racing competition. Seriously? That sounds like something I should look up online. Are they fast? Like, do they race against each other, or do they stick a hamster in there and they're like, okay, who's gonna do it? Hazel and her priest has inspired me. I made my Nightborn into a Holy Shadow Priest. Matching game is a little more fun than Make Logo. Make Logo is something, though. That one's something else. Thanks for lighting up my WoW journey. Love sharing the streams with you all. Matching game feels a little clunky. Marissa, thanks for the super chat. I love your streams and vids. What's your favorite zone in BFA so far and why? Actually, I feel like if I had leveled Horde, I would be saying Nesmir, but because I think Nesmir is my favorite zone aesthetically, but I think it's actually Drustvar because I spent more time there and I've done all of the quests. Drustvar is a different style of zone than they've done a whole lot in the past. It's there's a lot of like family stories and emotional stories and political stuff going on. It's a little bit less in your face than alright, so I have the Mind Bender, so I'm going to grab some orbs. There's another one over here. And if we can get a little bit more damage on me, there we go, and I'm out. Thank you. Ideally, when you pick up the orbs, you want to do so when other people are not within the blast radius, because you do some AoE damage when you pick up one of those orbs, so I probably could have been a little more careful about that. Yeah, my favorite zone is... I like the spooky ones. I'm really into the spooky stuff right now. Which is funny, because I like shallowly spooky stuff. I like things that look spooky and have spooky stories. I loved for a long time reading horror novels, but I cannot watch horror movies. Jump scare sounds upset me. I have a special hatred for jump scares. I think that they are lazy. And this isn't shading the Ashara thing. I know it had a couple of like... I feel like that was more just good sound design and like uncomfortable sounds. I don't think that was like necessarily huge jump scares. But like horror movies with just a lot of jump scares and less of a creepy story just upset me because I'm very easily startled. and it just feels cheap, and also I just get angry because I'm scared. Whereas horror novels I feel like I can enjoy a little bit more, although if they are scary enough, they will still upset me. So I really like things that look creepy and feel creepy, as long as they're not actually scaring me. Like, I would enjoy looking at a ghostly piece of artwork, but I would not want a ghost in my house, you know? What can you do with nuts? Not much. They just kind of hang out. I hate that boss. Is there a least favorite dungeon for you? The one time I did Toldagor so far, or I mean, I've done Toldagor a couple times, but it hasn't been my favorite yet, and maybe I just need to learn to love it, but it seems like there's a lot of trash, there's a lot of running around, and the last boss, I just need to get better at it, but I'm always kind of, oh, why am I dead? My bad. I've made some mistakes. I've made some mistakes. Should I release? Have I gone the wrong way? I'm gonna release. I think I'm just lost. Do you prefer the new Void Eruption or the original version? I prefer the original version now. I was originally very excited about Void Eruption, because... Hang on. Oh, Res was almost done casting. Oh, no. I thought I'd gotten lost. I didn't see anybody around. So I'm trying to get around the corner. Did I just, like, run into a... Like, why did... Like, I wasn't... I need to watch the replay. I am only, like, 40% here. Did I fatigue? Oh, I think I swam too deep. Don't go down. Oh, boy. I'm sorry. Best way to make a scary move less scary is not to close your eyes, but to cover your ears. I think that is a very good tip. Oh, we haven't pulled that stuff yet. My bad. Horror book review, not be able to watch horror movies? Mm-hmm. The one horror book that really messed me up, that I still get freaked out if I think too much about, was Misery. There were a couple of scenes in Stephen King's Misery that I'm not okay with. I read them years and years and years ago, and that might have been the problem. I read them as an older child or younger teenager, kind of in the border of that, and I should not have read it at that age. Maybe I shouldn't have read it now. Maybe I'm just never... Maybe you're never ready. But that was something else. Alright, so I'm going to interrupt that right one on the end of its next cast. So this one. So if that cast gets to the end, then I will kick it. And got it. There we go. Close enough anyways. I spent so much time waiting to kick that cast that I wasn't actually, like, doing any damage. I am a Gnome at heart. You walk behind me and I jump. I'm actually very, and I probably shouldn't tell people this, I'm just giving them ammunition, but I am very easily spooked in real life if I am focused on something. It happens most frequently if I'm watching a video that I'm super into, or if I am cooking and I am, like, very focused on, like, chopping vegetables or, like, doing something in a very specific way. If I'm super zoned into what I'm doing, and it's so easy to startle me to, like, it's a big scare. Like, my husband can just walk in the room, and he doesn't make any noise, he doesn't touch me, he doesn't really sneak up on me. He just walks in the room and, like, waits for me to notice him, because he doesn't know how to alert me without freaking me out, and then I, like, see him out of the corner of my eye, and I wasn't expecting him to be home or whatever, and it's traumatizing. Totally my fault, but if I'm, like, really zoned into something, it's very easy to scare me. Oh, I'm in DPS. I haven't actually been in the DPS side of this yet. I will kick at the end of the cast if needed. There we go, I got it. Just want to kind of maximize our kick, what's the word? Efficiency by kicking at the end? That's kind of my plan. Oh, there's another one over there. I knew there were two. I just didn't see where the other one was. I should have had them dotted, my bad. Well, I can't kick again for like 15 seconds, so that's me out. Do you guys agree that it's difficult to see the tentacle slam in this room? Like, everything's very purple, and it's purple tentacles that have purple little smash zones. Like, I have a hard time. Maybe it's just because of the time of day right now and the fact that I have a little bit of glare on my monitor, but it's tough. My first Hazel live, I joined 20 seconds before the last one ended. Welcome. Well, doing for me, I like Volpera and Sethrak. Don't judge me. I don't think there's anything to be judged about that. I'm actually kind of enjoying the Sethrak more than I thought I would. I think they're cool people. I enjoy defeating them in pet battles. There was like a Sethrak tamer the other day that was kind of neat. I feel like the Sethrak tamer, if any of you did it, his first pet had a move that does damage and immediately swaps your lowest health pet out. And that it's a flying pet, so it's very fast. It's hard to out speed it. Like, that is specifically designed to make it more difficult to two-pet that tamer. I think it's still going to be possible. I haven't started developing two-pet strategies yet. I only have one that I made back in beta that I needed to test to make sure it still works. But I thought it was funny that it seemed so blatantly about, like, don't level pets here. This bird's gonna get him. Oh no, actually what it does, and that maybe that'll make it more difficult to at least level pets from scratch, is that it actually... Oh, I need that. I have a 315 trinket that I'm replacing. Woo! So I'm going to make a new group for new people to join, but if we're like stuck for a tank Rolling Tides and you wanted to do more, feel free to reapply, and after whatever feels like a reasonable amount of time, I may re-invite. I'm gonna stretch for a second and catch up and chat and talk a little bit about my tea before I do the next one. Also put on my new trinket. Because that was one of my limiting pieces of gear, so I like chance to give me crit. That means that I don't have to use my on-use, which is good, because I actually, fun fact, I've been wearing an on-use trinket this whole time, and it hasn't been on my bar because I've had this very useful fishing keybind over here. Okay, what made me play Priest? I had to pick something. And I had to pick something, and it was right at the end of MOP when we were looking at beta info for the Shadow Priest redesign for Warlords when they added Insanity and Void Form, and I just liked the old gods tentacle aesthetic. The movie, the nun had to pull their YouTube ads because they were too scary. I want to make my boyfriend wear a bell around his neck. Just get him like sweet slippers, like really cool, very comfy slippers, so that he has to wear them because they're the best, and then sew bells onto them, and he'll be like an elf. I think we can sell him on this. Glad you stuck with your gnome. Me too. Tell him to start announcing whenever he's about to enter the room. I'm about to enter the kitchen. Be prepared. He does that. He does that shortly after spooking me. He'll do that for the rest of the night. And I don't know if he's being helpful or if he's teasing me. Scary things make you feel a bit anxious. Haunted houses in Drustvar. With digital vibrance, it's tough to see sometimes. It may be something to do with my monitor settings as well. I should really try and keep a more neutral monitor color profile on my screen because I edit videos for heck's sake. I should probably keep it very neutral so that at least I know what I'm putting out into the world, but we'll see. I'm upset that you're not a void elf. I'm sorry. Elf shoes are the way to go. So this tea is just real short tea talk because I just need to stretch. This is a Green Dragon Oolong. It is from Tao of Tea, and if you're unfamiliar with oolong teas, they're kind of sort of in between a green and a black tea. Most types of tea are actually made from the same plant, but the leaves are either picked at different times or processed differently. And the amount that they're oxidized kind of affects how much caffeine is in the tea and how bitter the tea is. So black teas are very oxidized, have a lot of caffeine, pretty bitter, often taken with milk. And on the other side of that, you have like white and green teas, which are not very oxidized at all. And those ones, you generally don't need to drink them with milk. They have a lighter and more gentle flavor. So oolong teas are going to be kind of in the middle of that, and they're like green and darker oolong. So some oolongs are like almost black tea, and some of them are almost green tea. This one is a Green Dragon Oolong, is like more towards the green end of the spectrum, but it's still very distinctly a oolong tea. It's called a Taiguan Yin tea, which I think means green dragon. I'm not 100%. I don't speak any Chinese. But it's, the gist of it is that it's got kind of like a floral but metallic taste. And I've had different styles of Taiguan Yin. It's a fairly popular kind of oolong. It's pretty easy to get. And some of them will taste very flowery, and some of them will taste very metallic. And I love all of them. It's almost, and this is going to sound very weird, but it's almost like drinking a green tea with like a hint of penny or blood. You know, like just the... It's good tea, and that's why I like it. Also, the oolong is hanging, the G is hanging off the end of my little thingy there. Oh no, too far. There we go. Okay, that's been Tea Talk with Hazel. Thanks for tuning in. I'm not even sponsored. Somebody should send me free tea so that I can talk about it on my streams. Actually, that would be tough, because then what if I don't like it, but I have, like, an obligation? Like, right now, I am a free tea agent. Nobody is paying me to talk about their tea, so you guys know that you're getting my honest tea opinions. Love your sweater. Almost ordered that one. Didn't know how the sizing worked. Yeah, I almost didn't order it because I thought it looked kind of not fashionable, and then I put it on, and I'm like, who cares? And also, I look amazing. I didn't realize how much I'd like it until I got it. It's really warm and comfy. How many hours did it take for me to solve the maze? I did in about an hour and a half, and actually the entire thing is in a stream VoD available on my channel. Because of you, I'm giving T a chance. Blood for the blood god vampire. Yeah, you know, it all ties back into the Shadowproof thing. So I'm gonna keep another dungeon. That one just went so well. Actually, how did my character get all the way over there? Did I? Oh no, I moved it. I see. I think my gear actually. I don't think. I could stand to get some shoes. I have 320 shoes, and then I have. Oh no, everything else is good. Everything else is good. Everything else is 325 or higher. So I don't actually really need heroics. What do I actually want to do? It's like 10 after 4. I'm a little bit hungry. I could stand to... Oh, you know what I want to do is actually I want to do my emissary. I'm gonna take a break from dungeons for a bit, and I'm gonna do some Stormsong Valley world quests so that I can hopefully get a piece of gear from that 340 chest, because that's up today for NA. I have a 340 shoulders. Those happened for me the last time there was a 340 Azerite gear emissary up, but I could use it in my chest or my helmet slots, and that should get me closer to 330 anyways. Is Fleta secretly in Zoth? He might be. I used to think that old gods have a very emotionless kind of like passive taking over the worldness, like they just understand that that's what they're going to do and they're not too fussed about it. But in the Ashara cinematic, the Warbringer Ashara this morning, and Zoth seemed pretty upset. He had some feelings. He was like Drake style, ready to go write some slightly whiny but still catchy rap tunes, you know. So the I think Fleta could be. He's got that. He's an angsty fish. He's an angsty fish. He still chooses fins every now and then. He'll get real mad sometimes. Usually if you've messed with his tank, like he hates it when you clean. But you got it cleaned. He hates it. I used to leave him in, but yes, last time I knew I wanted to get like really in there and kick up a bunch of stuff, so I very carefully moved him into a big bowl and kept him on my desk for a bit while I was cleaning his tank. And when I put him back in, he just like stared at me like, how could you? How could you do this to me? Blood for Gahoon, Blizzard clothes, always super high quality. I've had hit or miss stuff from them, but it's never, like, the misses aren't exactly like, it's not like they're bad clothes or they're falling apart. It's just the misses sometimes don't fit correctly. And it's always been with Overwatch shirts, is that I order a women's medium in anything, or if it's a men's, I'll usually go for a small. And it's the same size, and most of the things fit perfectly at those sizes, and I check the measurements. I have measuring tape here. I will measure myself every time. And some things that should fit just don't. And that's always really upsetting. Like, I have a couple of Overwatch shirts, the Genji one, the Diva one, that I have in the correct size, and other Overwatch shirts that I have in that size fit me great. But they're just too small. They pinch me around the arms, and, they're not... You know, they're long enough, and I fit into them, and they're not bursting at the seams, but they're not comfortable, and maybe it's just because my style has changed that I just really like slightly oversized clothing. But I just can't, I don't put them on because I don't want to wear them. They make me upset. I get angry when I wear clothes that are too small. So, something I was thinking about doing, one day in the very far future, when I actually have time to make dumb videos that nobody needs, is like a crafting video, where I take my old nerd t-shirts that don't fit me and turn them into pillows. I think that would be like pillows, or, you know, something, you know, crafting with, because I'm keeping the shirts, you know, I bought them at full price. I like them a lot. I'm not throwing them out, and I'm probably not donating them, but I don't wear them, and I think it's okay that I don't wear them. So I think I eventually want to try like a pillow project on YouTube. What do you have in your gnome's face? Magic, fashion, style. The chest is amazing. Thanks for being a positive influence. Angsty fish. Oh, here we go. Yeah, he's an angsty boy. I really badly want more betta fish. I have been watching aquascape videos. Aquascape videos are very, very relaxing, where people are methodically and thoroughly decorating and to some extent maintaining aquariums. There's this one series. It's actually less aquascaping and more like aquarium maintenance, and it's by a channel called Foo the Flower Horn, and I adore the series. I think a lot of people do. It's very, very popular. And it's like this saga of a 5-gallon fish tank that they run no CO2, so that it's heavily planted, but they're not pumping in CO2. No fertilizers and no filter. And it's got like some small fish and some shrimp, and every month he does an update video where he shows you what's been happening in the tank and the plants, and it's an incredibly well-filmed, relaxing series. It's got like soothing music. It's got words, but they're not narrated. They're just like text on the screen. really amazing series, and watching stuff like that just makes me want to make all sorts of tanks. And I know I need to limit the number of aquariums I have, even in the long term. Like, once I get a house, I'm going to end up with a few more aquariums, but I still probably shouldn't have like 37 tanks. But betta tanks are so easy to take care of, generally speaking. Like, once you've got them set up, the maintenance is, even if you're doing a ton of maintenance, it's just such a small thing that it doesn't take you very long. That I would love to try aquascaping, like getting a couple of different 5 gallons, trying to aquascape them differently, and then picking out bettas to go with them. Just wanted to say hi from. I'm gonna guess Carsel. I don't know England. What would you recommend to help me get my boyfriend back to playing WoW? You just gotta let it be and hope the universe helps you out. Or at least that's my advice. There might be better advice. I can never in good conscience push anybody to really do anything, because if they don't like it, then it's my fault. And I really hate it when things are my fault. So what I like to do is I'll present the facts about why I like something. I will try to relate it to something I think it could do for them, and then allow them to make their own decision. Back when I used to work in sales, I was a very unaggressive, or at least I like to think I was, maybe I wasn't. I tried to be a very unaggressive salesperson. I tried my best to just give people not only information, but like relevant information to help them make their decision, and, you know, explain what the value is in the different options. So, approaching WoW from that angle. But like, if you make somebody do something and they don't like it, that's just not good. And I mean, it's your boyfriend, you're probably gonna have to see him sometimes, unless you get him really into WoW. Best to just kind of take it easy. T-shirt over a cardboard box, hiding cubby for Haiti, neck hole is the door. Oh! I don't know if my cat would crawl through a neck hole. Also, these shirts are too small, so they have pretty small neck holes. I don't know. I guess I could widen it. She doesn't like crawling into stuff. She likes being in enclosed spaces, and if it's like made of blankets and you're there, but she doesn't really worm into holes much. Maybe it's worth a try. But yeah, that's actually, like, I could probably modify that. I could probably make modified t-shirt cat caves, because, like, I want to try the pillow thing, but I have quite a few shirts that I want to do this to, and there's only so many pillows that a given person needs. I don't think most people actually need any pillows, although I do enjoy, like, squishing them when I'm watching TV on the couch. But, you know, I already have my Hearthstone pillow. Never caught you live, watch all the VoDs, just watch the Friday vlog. Welcome, Austin. It's super hard to be angry while watching Hazel. Some people do manage. Making a t-shirt throw or a t-shirt quilt. They're really comfy and beautiful too. I thought a good idea might be like like I know I just said pillows, but like a sleeping pillowcase. Like if you could make a bigger one that was like a pillowcase for your proper size sleeping pillow. Because I know some people will use shirts as hair towels because they're less abrasive than regular towels. And I swear I read something about people who practice like slightly fanatical skincare using t-shirts using clean t-shirts as pillowcases because the fabric was softer in their skin than other stuff. I know silk pillowcases are recommended for your skin. I can't do that. I hate them. Like, my grandmother had one, and I just don't want it. Can't do silk pillowcases, but I feel like t-shirts might be better. I don't know. I'm probably doing a terrible thing for my skin because when I sleep, I wake up in the morning and I'll have like a big crease on my face where it just got like scrunched up in the pillow. Is that normal? Does that happen to everybody? I'll have just like big extra weird wrinkles because my face just like scrunches up like an octopus when I'm sleeping. I also shove my hands under my pillow and then sleep with them all the way to my head and my pillow on them, which is not good for my hands either. I would watch crafting videos. King of DIY. He started making, he's about to hit 1 million subs and he started making daily videos. I will admit that I usually watch them on like 1.25, 1.5 speed sometimes, but I always slow down to normal speed for the Frank parts. He almost makes me want to get a flower horn or another giant cichlid one day, like an Oscar. They've got like such rubbery looking faces, but there's, I know I need to chill on fish. There's fish that I want more than that. I want, like, if I'm gonna have big fish, I want big goldfish. Hazel Master Manipulator. You're not wrong. That's not true, actually. That makes me sound like I'm good at it. Not. I play a hunter. I have to wear male armor. There's awesome leather hood. I want to wear a Transmog. Is there any hope for me? No. What is your streaming schedule? I stream Friday afternoons, 3 p.m. typically until about 5 p.m. and then on Tuesday mornings. And these are Pacific times. So if you are not living on the West Coast, you could take those times, like 9 a.m. Pacific, for example, put it into Google and it'll tell you what it is locally. On Tuesday mornings, I stream 9 a.m. Pacific until whenever I'm done my mount runs, which is usually between 10 and noon or so. I try to be an angry jerk, but Hazel just pulls the friendly out of me. There's a store called Catty Cathy's in Borlis. Immediately thought of you with the Pepe in the fish tank. I want more fish pets. Like, I know that we have fish pets. I now want more of them. I want old god fish. I want old god combat fish. Like, I have a combat octopus thing. I want a combat fish now. Also, I want her vest. She looks very fashionable. Culturens have the best clothes. Slightly fanatical skincare. Right along the lines of people that don't smile because they don't want wrinkles. Where do you get your teas? Couple of different places depending on the type of tea. Quite a few different places, really. I recommend Tao of Tea, Yunnan Sourcing, Harney if it's like flavored stuff. Some teas from Stash sometimes. And then some of it's given as gifts as well. My wife gets pillow creases on her face all the time. Back, stomach, or side sleeper. I was a side sleeper as a kid. And then we had, oh no. We had this health class where they were telling us all the reasons why you should not sleep on your stomach and why it was bad for your back and this and that. And I was like, wow, I didn't realize so many people wanted to do this so badly because they were talking about like strategies like sewing a golf ball in the front of your shirt to prevent yourself. And I was like, wow, if people really want that badly to stomach sleep, they must be onto something really good because I guess I was a real dumb teenager. So I was like, well, I'm going to try it out. And now I'm a stomach sleeper because I ruined myself. You know, I was smart enough to say no to drugs and I was smart enough to say no to cigarettes. But I was not smart enough to say no to stomach sleeping. I guess everybody has to have advice. So now I sleep in my stomach. It's awful for my back. I have to like uncrinkle my shoulders in the morning. Every now and then I try to change and my cat tries to help me because I start out on my side because I'll be reading and then I roll over later. And if my cat like gets right beside me, then I can't roll over. She does that sometimes. But where am I going? I need to go do more quests. So I'm not turning in Star Moss. That's not happening. But I can head out to like Millstone Hamlet. Can you leave? Thank you. I love your fish tank. I have a couple myself. I used to have 5. I was forced to downsize. I want more. I have 2, plus like a couple of empty ones because I want to keep an empty one just in case any fish needs medication. So I have like the empty quarantine. But I have this one, and then I have a 20-gallon long community tank in my living room that I actually wanted to talk a bit about today because it's been going really well. And I just like I feel like I only ever talk about my aquariums when something is dying. That's not true. I talk about them all the time. But it's had a really good week. Like last Sunday, the corridor quarantine ended, so I added 6 panda cories that out of quarantine into the main tank. And all 6 of them did very well. They're getting plenty to eat. They're having a great time snuffling around and looking for food and hiding under the wood. And the thing is, the minnows in there actually are way happier now that there's cories. And the cories are way happier, obviously, because they're in a bigger tank that has sand, but also with the minnows up top acting kind of as ditherfish. Like, everybody is acting more comfortably and more naturally, and everybody's eating. I think my honey gourami chromie might be eating too much. She's looking real thick. Like, either she's obese or she's got eggs or both. But she's just the one female fish, so I don't know if getting her a boyfriend would help her or make it worse. But yeah, the tank's been going really well, aside from the whole snail escaping incident. And they're real cute. They're real cute in there. Started using a cotton t-shirt for my hair because I'm trying to grow it out healthier. I only like wet wash my hair about once a week, and I have a microfiber towel that I use. Microfibers. That I feel like it's a little bit better, but t-shirts are even better than that. It's just that my hair holds so much water. It's like a lot of it. It's kind of long, but I think that washing it less often has definitely been really good for it. Quizzy, thanks for the membership. Thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the Squirrel Squad. I hope that you're enjoying this stream. Why don't you stream on Twitch? Don't you think you'd have more viewers there? I used to stream on Twitch and I had drastically fewer viewers. Granted, that was in an earlier time in my channel, but I have a video that goes over the different bits of it. The main points are that YouTube allows me to stream at a higher resolution and with greater bitrate, and assuming that I got a greater computer and a better internet connection, I could even stream up to 4K 60 FPS, and people with great internet would be able to watch the stream in high res. And if you don't have great internet, you can still turn it down. YouTube offers free transcoding to everybody, as opposed to Twitch, which limits it to partners and will turn it off for people at peak times. I also like that it's very integrated with YouTube, which is my full-time job now, so I can stream and I can have the VoD with live chat replay on my YouTube channel. I think that YouTube is a better place for Twitch VoDs because I don't like the Twitch video player very much. Is that thing always there? Goodness. Yeah, I like having my stream VoDs on YouTube because some people do watch them, and I like the YouTube video player better. But yeah, there's definitely advantages to Twitch, and if like they make any huge changes that really make me think it's worth switching, then I could consider it, but I don't think so. I really like it here. Can I not do this? Azerite? Oh, I'm healing wounds. I'm not collecting Azerite. I was trying to, or Azerite. I need to go stand to the right things. How's Fleta doing? He's good. He still chews his tail, but that's his life. It's not infected. He's chilled out a lot. He's a little bit less spazzy. You can see he just kind of like hangs out in the spot, and then he'll swim him over and he'll hang out in another spot. Uses his whole tank pretty well. I want to try doing a planted beta tank that's got a planted tank substrate instead of sand, so that I can plant stem plants in addition to some other stuff and try the aquascape a little bit differently. But I don't think I really want to mess with his tank anymore. I think I've messed with his tank enough, it's in a good spot now, and that I should leave it alone and do a different aquascape if I ever do another beta tank. What's your GS now? My gear score? My... What else could GS stand for? I'm 328 atom level. I own 2 flower horns. They're fun when they're 4 inches, but when they're 11 and start wanting to breed, they get mean. I've gotten bit several times by mine. I've seen flower horns from the Food the Flower Horn videos and from the King of DIY videos, and they just look like such characters. I don't know about giant cichlids. I want dwarf cichlids. I want to do Bolivian rams. I was originally going to add 1 Bolivian ram to my 20 gallon. I go back and forth on it. We'll see. It's gonna, like, it's pretty close to stocked right now. I don't know if I need to push it. Everything's working, so I'm hesitant to mess with it. Love the fish tank cam. Thank you. I like the Solve Gold Aquatic Goldfish videos too. Those are the ones that make me really want goldfish. She's like 90% responsible for how badly I want goldfish. Combat fish from Mop. How are you doing today? Hello. Stomach sleeper for life. Stomach sleeper here. My cat's name is Kira. Stomach sleeper as well. Are you not doing the island expeditions for the parrot and the cute octopus? I got this little crab dude. And aside from that, I think I'm going to continue to do my weekly allocation of hang on, I took that flight point so that I could fly out there and do those. I've got my weekly allocation of island expeditions, and I feel like if I keep doing those every week for the rest of the expansion, I'll probably get most of the stuff. How are you supposed to move VODs from Twitch to YouTube? You can do that. They have an export feature, but you lose live chat replay, and the quality isn't always great. You has a Kappa emote. I actually love the YouTube Kappa emote because I think it's just a work of satirical art. Emote culture is definitely a little bit different on YouTube than Twitch, to the point that, like, we have custom emotes for members, but there isn't the same... there isn't really the same emote culture, to the point that I think maybe I need to redo some of them. What type of gravel do you use? I used to have PetSmart gravel, but I took it all out and I've switched to sand. The black sand in there is Carib Sea. It's Carib Sea black sand. It's from like a beach somewhere. It's kind of expensive. I wouldn't do it for a huge tank because of how much it costs. Darn it, what's the name of it? I have more of it in my closet. I can check the name of it. Is it Carib Sea? It's, yeah, Carib Sea, Supernaturals, Premium Aquarium, Substrate. But yeah, like, this is the bag. I took a little bit out of this. It's probably like 3/4 full right now. But this bag costs $30. And that won't get you very far if you're doing a big tank. It's expensive. But I wanted black sand because, a lot of fish will color up better over dark substrate. Like they'll naturally kind of, not really camouflage, but they try to blend in a little bit, so you'll get more vibrant colors out of your fish. Theoretically, it might be different for different fish. Over dark substrate, and then it also doesn't look as gross as quickly if it's dirty but you're not ready for a water change yet. So I do like it in that respect. It's kind of annoying to clean though. I don't know. I still haven't found a substrate that I really like. I want to try for my community tank, if I ever upgrade them, doing like a full planet tank on like Eco-Complete, or even just like a dirted tank, because I want to get better plants going. How are you liking Priest and BFA? Can't decide between Priest or Monk. Need a tiebreaker. I am really enjoying Priest, But you should know that my opinion does not represent the majority. There's a lot of people that are frustrated with Priest because the playstyle has moved from being very haste-based long void forms to a little bit more cleave-based. I always like telling people to do Priest because it's just the thing that makes me really happy. But I think that you should go with whichever one you prefer the look and the class fantasy and the feel of, because the mechanics of it are going to come and go. They will patch and get repatched and get repatched and get redesigned. Those will never really be the same, and if you switch every time that they do that, you're going to be switching a lot. But if you pick the one that you really like the feel of and you can kind of get into the fantasy of yourself as, then it's easier to kind of ride out those waves and build up history with the character and get better at the class and more familiar with your resources, and I find it tends to work out better for me. Black sand is beautiful. It does look very nice. I think that in a future tank, if I did a planted aquarium substrate in a community tank, I would still have a sand beach in part of it, like maybe like the back half of one of the sides would be the planted stuff, and that would be pretty thick with plants, and you'd have like an open beach area in the front for like open swimming area and for the quarries to root around in and whatnot. If you're keeping corridors, you want to be careful that any substrate that you do have is not sharp. So if you have gravel, it cannot be sharp gravel. I mean, it can, but the thing is they have these really delicate little barbels on their faces that they snuffle around looking for food on, and they use those to find food, and they can get in big trouble if those get damaged or cut. And if they're getting repeatedly damaged, then they might get infected. It's just bad. So sand is the best substrate to keep quarries on. Do you ever worry about your fish getting scared with Deathwing looming over them like that? Some fish that I have, absolutely. I have some very wimpy fish, but that fish that right there is not one of them. Flutta is a destroyer of worlds in his own right, and he is afraid of no dragon. I need to fill my desk tank. It's bare bottom. All I got is unicorn puke gravel left. I need to buy more substrate. Look into, and I haven't tried this yet, so maybe I'm giving you terrible advice, but I've seen people do really great things with wallstat style tanks where they use potting soil, and I would Google to make sure you get the right kind, but they use regular potting soil, and then you cap it with something else, like a gravel or a sand or whatever, so that you don't have just mud in your tank, but there's like a big, thick, like 2-inch layer soil in the bottom. I think Dustin's Fish Tanks does a lot of dirted tanks. He has some good pointers about it. I think he said like 1 inch. And if you're doing planted, that's like the thing that makes really good plants happen. Like, I know you can do it on fluorite or like Seachem fluorite, or there's the Eco Complete or whatever that I might try sometime, but I've seen people do crazy stuff with dirted tanks, and that seems like it would be fairly cheap compared to like a prepared substrate. Using ADA Amazonia at the moment, it's really great. Isn't ADA stuff really expensive? I've been watching like a lot of Aquascape videos where people are using ADA equipment and substrate and whatever, and it just looks pricey. It looks beautiful, but it looks pricey. Would you use sand if you have a bottom feeder? Absolutely, yeah. Lots of people do. The only creatures that I found to not prefer sand so far is my snails. Not the Nereids. Nereids don't care, but the mystery snail sometimes gets like a bunch of sand like up in his business, like in his shell, and he like has to shake a bunch of it out. I feel like mysteries are probably happier on gravel because they can clean it more easily, whereas if they're trying to eat sand, they're just gonna end up eating a bunch of it. He seems fine, but I think that they would probably be more comfortable on gravel. Fish cam, did they talk about Zandalar and Culturans yet? I don't believe so. I think the prevailing guess is that we're going to get either info or release about that. I think, actually, guess is that we're going to get info about 8.1, which will include Zandalar and Culturans in BlizzCon. I think that in BlizzCon they're going to announce those things, because that's kind of all they've really got to announce, and they got to do something. Do you get anything if you lose an expedition? Yes, you do. You get reduced rewards. What I don't know is if you still have a chance to get, like, the pets and whatever. I don't know if that happens, but you'll still get Azerite, you just won't get as much. Like a beach within the water tank, that's pretty cool. People have done really cool stuff with it, like the beach concept. I've also seen people do really gorgeous like forest tanks. I want to learn to do more with it, but it's so expensive if you haven't been doing it forever. Like people that have been decorating aquariums and aquascaping for a long time, they just have like all this wood, rocks, and plants, and they can just take plants out of their other aquariums that need trimming and then use those plants. But if you're buying all the stuff from scratch, it's so expensive. Which is why I want to start small with beta tanks. Nightborn Hunter or Mage? Mage. What live plants to use for a sand substrate? Most rooted plants can do okay in a sand substrate, like okay, assuming they have root tabs. I'm not experienced enough to tell you which ones are going to do better or worse. I have had good luck with crypts. I have a Cryptocorin Wendetti Bronze, which is a fairly cheap plant, kind of like bronzy leaves, It's in sand with a root tab and it's doing great. The other one, you can play an Amazon sword in anything as long as it's got root tabs, it'll do fine and it'll get too big for your tank and then you'll get annoyed and take it out. What else? And then I've also been doing okay with my wisteria. But my favorite plants are the ones that I have in Floodus tank, like the Anubias and the Java Fern, because those don't actually need to be planted in Substrate at all. All of the Java Fern that's in there, which are the plants that you see in the plant cam right now, those are all just glued to the rocks with super glue and glued onto his little coconut shell hide. If you use a cyanoacrylate super glue, which is most super glue gels, it's inert in the aquarium, it won't leach any bad stuff into the water. And you can use that to attach Anubias and Java Fern to rocks and stuff, because those plants actually prefer to not be submerged. They'll rot if you completely bury them, but they do really well just glued to stuff, so you can make cool designs and stuff like that. I want a fish tank that is also a PC case. Didn't Linus Tech Tips have something like that, but then like the fish disappeared and now he just has like a PC aquarium with no fish in it? I thought that happened. I feel like I saw that. You can do fake fish. Have you seen the horrifying video of the man using the hydroponic tray to grow veggies for a salad? I have not, no. I have not done Zandalar yet either. Just hit 85. Congrats, Jill. You remind me of my brother who has 4 fish tanks. You know, fish people are a specific kind of people. I've met some really cool fish people, and I've also met some very weird fish people, and maybe that's true of any kind of people ever. I'm sure there are cool and weird people in any hobby, but it seems more pronounced so far with the fish people that I've met. As someone who's only been playing WoW on and off for a year, how do I go about getting some decent transmogs? Figure out your targets. Like, are you trying to get, do you want to find a couple sets that you like and go after them, or would you prefer to gather wide amounts of stuff so that you can continue making different things as you feel like it? If it's the first one and you just don't know where to look for cool sets and figure out how to get them, I would recommend go into, start with the sets. So in your transmog, in your appearances tab, so collections, shift P, appearances, go to sets, and scroll through everything there, and that'll show you what it looks like on your character. So see if you like anything, and let's say I was scrolling and I found that I really like that. That's Hellfire Citadel stuff, so you can see what pieces you're missing, you can see where it drops off of. That piece is from the Hellfire Assault fight. That's a good place to start. If you would prefer to just get a wide range of stuff, what am I trying to do here? Talk to Marie. Oh, I need to turn in this thing. I need to go back to Bernadette. If you prefer to just get a wide range of stuff so that you have some options available to you, I would get the Menards Wardrobe Helper add-on that looks like this. So you open it up, you press refresh, and this is going to show me all of the instances, all of the raids and dungeons in the game. This does not help you with collecting BOE World Transmog, but raid and dungeon transmog. So it's grouped by expansion, and you can see each of the instances, you can see your percent completed, and if I look at the Arcatraz, which I have a third of the appearances from, I can see what the rest of them are. I can control-click them to actually look at the appearances of them, and then you can see what boss they drop up. So if I decided I wanted that helmet, I know I need to go into the Arcatraz and farm the last boss. Those are kind of the two strategies I would recommend for getting started with Transmog. Oh, it was a mineral oil PC with fake fish. Oh. Well, that's cooler, actually. So you can actually use it as a PC. Because I've seen aquariums done out of a PC case. Or was Linus's an aquarium, a fake one? I'm confused. I've seen both. Oh, he never put fish in? I thought it wasn't a running PC. I thought they had literally made an aquarium. I may have misunderstood. I did not pay a whole lot of attention to the video. Maybe somebody else had one that was, maybe it was a different video, because somebody definitely had a PC aquarium. It was not a running PC, it was just an aquarium that was made in a PC case, and that one did have fish in it. Would you get discus? They thrive in live plant takes. I don't think I would do discus anytime soon, because from what I see, they're expensive, they're delicate, they're a little bit shy, and they're expensive. It's like 50 bucks a fish, and if it's just gonna die, then I'm not only sad that I lost my buddy, but then I'm sad that I lost 50 bucks. I think that's a more, I'm a beginner, that's probably more advanced than for me. My mom used to be obsessed with fish. We had a 55 and a 30. That sounds like an average level of fish obsession, if you ask me. What did you think of Warbringer Jaina? I did a reaction video for that one. I was very impressed. I was very impressed. I wish more of them had songs, but I thought that one did very good. Gonna download that right now. What graphics card does your PC have? Looks so nice. This is a GTX 1070. I have a 1070 in here. It's pretty good. Pretty good. I'm looking to redo my PC soon because I want to start making videos in 4K, and for that I'm very excited about the potential of the new ones that they just announced. Are B-mounts really going to be a thing? I rode one for my whistle yesterday. I nearly fell off in excitement. I predict that they will be. They're not currently obtainable in-game. If we can cross our fingers, maybe I'll be able to get a helmet or a chest. We don't want shoulders. We don't want shoulders. Helmet or chest? Helmet or chest? Look at those shoulders. Alright, let's look at their traits at least. So my current traits, I have Blightborn Infusion, which isn't bad. Can I get Knife in the Back? No. I need to look at the tier list again. I have not memorized the Azerite trait tier list. Nothing beats a few Neon Tetras for me. I'm interested to try some one day. I feel like if you had the right beta in a 10-gallon, you could get a nice thing going with like 6 to 8 Neons and a beta. But that seems to be very hit or miss based on the personalities of both your Neons and your betas. But like in a planted tank, that might be nice. I've heard that they're more delicate lately because they've become a bit inbred just because they've been so popular for so long that they're not the sturdiest fish to have anymore. So with about 20 minutes, what would I like to do? I'm going to get up actually a little bit and reheat my tea and stretch, and I'll be back. And I'm feeling like a little bit of pet collecting, but we'll see. Here, I'll let the fish stream for a second. I will be right back. I was a little hungry and I was thinking about like grabbing a tomato off the balcony, but then I was like, that probably won't help. That probably won't make you like, I don't know if anybody eats tomatoes to not be hungry. There are new whistles. How do you get them? As far as I know, you use the same whistle that you used before if we're talking about like the Flightmaster whistle. If we all went on a tea strike until the baking streams come back, if it'll work. The baking streams will be back as soon as I have all of the equipment I need to do a good one. It's not that I don't want to do them, although I do think I will do fewer of them. I will probably go back to once a month instead of twice. 2 was too much for me to manage. But it's not that I don't want to do them. It's that I don't want to do bad ones anymore. I can't put out content with that quality with like the audio and the lag problems and like the computer just dying on me. It's just when I have a setup that I'm happy with, I want 2 cameras. I want the wireless mic, which I have. I invested in the proper wireless mic. It actually works pretty good. So what I want to do for the last bit of the stream is I want to look for some new pets and talk about pet collecting in BFA. So I'm going to get together my little team, which is Grumpy. And Grumpy is the best pet in the game for collecting wild pets. He has Super Bark, which is kind of like the Terrible Turnip's Weakening Blow, except that it's more powerful and on a longer cooldown. And it's got Howl, so you go Howl, Super Bark, and that's going to take almost anything down to a catchable level, which is nice and easy. And then my second 2 pets, I usually take like cleanup pets. So if I just throw like a Nexus Whelpling and like a Zeppelin in there, those usually take care of most things. So that's going to be my capturing thing. I'm going to make sure I'm tracking pets. I need everything, so I'm just going to go battle some stuff, see if we can find any rares. So originally, back in Legion and whatnot, was like, I am so above searching for rare wild pets. I am just going to catch the first pet of everything I see, and I probably still should for like the count. But I'm going to catch the first pet of everything that I see, and I shall use my vast stash of stones to upgrade it as I see fit. I am no lowly peasant to be out there looking for rare pets. I apologize for my terrible accent. And then BFA happens. And not only do you now need incredible amounts of pet charms in order to get all of the new pets, like thousands of them, and they've raised the cost of the ultimate training stones, and in a way kind of made me feel like all of my stones are more valuable. Now I probably have enough rare upgrade stones banked to very easily just boost any of the wild pets, and it probably wouldn't hurt me to do so. I should check to see how many I have, but I don't feel like I am in a position to waste them by just like boosting every squirrel or butterfly or bee that I see. So a good place to start. Right now I'm just kind of wandering around looking for stuff. So this is a veil marmot. I can see that I do need that, I think. I think if I mess over it and I already have one, it'll say that I do. So I don't have a veil marmot yet, so I guess I'm gonna get that one, even if it sucks. I only want to get rare ones. I want to get rare stuff. Oh, there's a rare veil marmot. Yes. Okay. Oh no, there's a rare valley chicken too. Help. Which one of those is harder? Hira sent me. I saw someone with ball. Ball is available. I don't have mine yet. Here from Hira stream. Hope you're doing good. Hello, everybody. Pets aren't very good. I mean, they look great. I got a spectral raven yesterday. How do we get the DBM voice stuff? You download it using the same place that you get add-ons. So if you get add-ons through your Twitch app, go to get more add-ons and look for the... I kind of wanted a chicken. If you do use the Twitch app, go to the Get More Add-ons tab, search for Hazelnutty, all one word, and you should find it. And once you've installed it, you'll be able to set it up. There's instructions on the page. Up to 230 charms. They seem easier to get. Running around doing world quests. I feel like it'll be pretty easy once you have alts. That's a good reason to level alts, actually. Because being able to do them on multiple characters, especially the world quests do seem to give a bit more, and it does seem like there's a few more world quests, and maybe they'll be easier to get. Alright, I'm taking this chicken. I'm going to howl super bark, and that's might not even be good enough because the chicken is a little bit resistant, but look at how magnificent that chicken looks. Get the chicken's harder. Go for the chicken, we're getting that chicken. Unless it does something mean. Okay, well, the chicken ruined him, but that's okay. I'm going to spam the trap. I'm not going to get distracted and accidentally arcane storm the poor chicken. That's no way to treat our new friend. Never bought the stones. I would just get them from the bags. Can you still cheese max level pets with garrisons? Garrisons. I don't know what you mean by garrisons, but there are max level pets that can be cheesed. I remember there was a single pet battle world quest out in Nazmir. It was kind of like in the middle of the zone. It was like a beast thing. Like a Krog or whatever, and I was able to one-shot it with an Iron Starlet Howl Supercharge. Sorry, an Iron Starlet's wind-up Supercharge wind-up combo. Just took it out in one go. So, some things can be cheesed. There's a white and brown version of the Valley Chicken. Interesting. What version did I get? I've heard that there are multiple instances of pets with the same name with different colors. I don't think that's the first time they've done that. I think they've had snakes in the past that have done that. But if I got a rare one, then I'm probably not going to worry about which color I... Oh, I got a white and gray one. Yeah, I like that. That's a cute chicken. That's a good-looking chicken. See, now I got two. There were two rare pets in that first thing. Now I'm never going to see another one. Alright, well that's one down. Let's see if we can find a veil marmot. I use the Twitch client for add-ons. I have not gotten Bal yet. Not crazy. Of course not. Of course not. Alright, well, you know, that's just a white chicken. Let's just get both chickens. Actually, I'm going to switch to the Zeppelin and let him get through these first couple pets so that I have full access to Grumpy to get the second colored chicken. Oh, Pink Frog is my favorite, not sure of his name. Not about this. Oh man. I feel like there was something else I was going to talk about. I made a pie off... Like, sometimes I bake things. And then I want to talk about them on stream, but I don't want to upset anybody that has been waiting for baking streams to come back, you know? But I did make an apple pie. I don't know if it really counts, because I just used a store-bought, like a Pillsbury crust. Comes up in those little boxes, you like unroll them and stick them in your pie pan. But I peeled all the apples myself and I chopped them up myself. I think I used the wrong kind of apples because normally I think you make pies with sour apples, like Granny Smith, and I think I bought Fiji apples. I bought whatever apples were cheapest. And they were kind of soft and kind of mealy, so I didn't really want to eat them, but they actually baked really well into the pie. I switched out half of the white sugar in the recipe for brown sugar because that just sounded better. And then I like almost doubled the spices, because whenever people make recipes and they post them on these blogs that look super just like, I don't know, food blogs, I feel like often go really light on spices. They just don't want to offend you with flavor, I guess. And I want to be offended with flavor. So I, like, if I'm making gingerbread, if I'm making this pie, for example, if I'm making, like, the firecracker salmon, I go in on the spices. Like, not to a crazy amount, but I take it up a bit. Because you want to taste them. And it's not like I'm using expensive stuff. You know, if you're using this cheap stuff from the grocery store that's probably been dry for 9 years, you gotta really use a lot of it. And it was actually, it wasn't pretty. It was not pretty. So now I have 2 chickens. I have 2 chickens and no marmots. But my chickens, I have my white valley chicken and I have my gray and white valley chicken. And you know what? If we see a rare one, that's the different kind. So it's not showing me breeds. And they're both level 23. It looks like at level 23 they do have different stats, so at least I'll have access to different breeds of valley chicken. I don't know if I'm ever going to use any valley chicken, but, you know, collecting chicken colors I feel like is a valid and worthy pursuit for my life. Now, I do have plenty of bandages, and I'm not shy about wasting those, so that's something. Alright, Vilmar, give me a rare one. Let's set it up. I could get a green. I actually, you know what, I am going to just run away and try to farm up, not farm, but I'm going to try and search for rares, because I would prefer to get them. I got really excited that my pet was rare for a second. Unless I see a rare one. Are there any pets in this zone that are rare? You have been taking off stream? Occasionally. Once or twice. Not all the time. So, in Stormsong Valley, if we filter these pets to just pet battling, are any of these like really hard to get? Like I should jump on them if I see them. I want a honeybee. I want to find a honeybee. I bet those are up by the farm, yeah. Oh no, that one's from the vendor. I want a honeybee. Let's go look for the honeybee. Also, that's a nice looking crab. I do have Francois, actually. My mod friend Gildy helped me out because he was getting one and he had the million. So he let me hold it for a second so that I could also get one. Pet families. Sources. So I have my Francois. I haven't leveled it yet. I haven't leveled anything. I was thinking of leveling things actually with 2 pet strategies as I create them. But I got my chicken. Nice chicken. Just hit 120 in my priest. Congrats, Marissa. Nice. I wish you the best of time as soon as you get some gear. It's gonna be rough for like a little bit. You can get through it. Get a bee. Ideas on new classes? I want a Sand Lane inspired vampire class. I would also enjoy a bard style class, but I mostly want like a blood mage vampire class, or I want a priest hunter hybrid that's kind of like a shadow priest. It's got like a Vulgini shadow hunter spec and also like a Tyrande like priest hunter spec. It's got like owls and stuff. But because it's kind of like hybridy, I don't know if they would do it. So I'm assuming the bees are going to be up here. I haven't looked at maps, but this has the nice side effect of there's herbs up here. Oh, there's honeybees. Yes. I am brilliant. I am a genius. You can find bees at the bee place. Nobody ever could have predicted this. So Francois is not going to help me. But you know who is going to help me is Grumpy, and I don't think they're quite low enough yet. Are there a lot of bees out here? It looks like there's a lot of bees. I'm going to try and find a rare bee. I'm going to check these bees to see if any of them are rare. Actually, I'm going to catch... I know I'm never going to use the green bee. Maybe I'll upgrade it. Wow, that was useless. I'm still going to super bark. I'm going to catch the green bee and then have that with me while I look for the other bees. Bee hour. Is there a bee meme? Did a streamer make a bee meme that I'm not aware of? Didn't know you could search like that. Where have I been? It's hard for me to tell sometimes which functions of the journal are part of the default journal and which functions are part of Pet Journal Enhanced, because I do have a Pet Journal add-on. But I believe the searching, like the searching for the zone name or whatnot, I believe that is part of the default UI. I think it's just my extra filters down here that are part of Pet Journal Enhanced. Alright, we're catching this green bee. I want a Necromancer. Blood Mage could be super cool, but how many classes could fit in it? I mean, originally I thought for sure that they wouldn't really go that route because you're kind of stomping on territory you've already trodden, but Demon Hunters kind of stepped all over warlocks, and that's apparently fine. So I have more hope that they're not too afraid of like slightly crossing territories in the interest of going for a cool class, as long as it makes sense with their story. Blood mages or warlocks could be a thing as new spec. A lot of people suggest that they, instead of adding a new class one expansion, they just add new specs. And I think that they have probably learned enough from Legion to know that doing something for every class is a stupid amount of work. Not even just a lot of work, it is an actually stupid amount of work where it doesn't make sense to undertake it. It's not like nine people out of 10 won't see most of it. So you're just, it just doesn't make sense. I just love the bees. Why not have 2 chickens? I do have 2 chickens. Man, guys, if I can see a future in my life where I just have like cats and dogs and fish and like a big lizard and a snake and like 3 chickens, and you guys are just gonna come to my streams and be like, Hazel, are you okay? Is everything alright? Please don't get any more animals. I know they're all taken care of, but we're starting to judge you. How are you so good at pet battling? I don't know if pet battling is something you could really be good at. There's kind of like a base level of familiarity with it that's fairly easy to get to. And once you know the basics, it's very mix and matching. It's a pretty casual thing. If they added a bard class, it would be cool. I think they would need to take a very specific and unique, not specific, forget that word. I think they would need to find a fresh and unique take on the bard class, because traditionally in Dungeons & Dragons at least, which is the one place I really know bards from, I'm sure there are in other MMOs, but that's where I know them from. Bards are primarily a buff class, and WoW has moved away from having that sort of thing. Like, we have buffs, but shamans originally were buff specs, and that was kind of what they did. They were totem bots. They would buff things. Paladins to some extent. Like before I played, this is just stories that I've heard, but they would just buff people. That was their whole job. And apparently it was hard to get people to do it because it was not very fun. I wish I could mark these bees so that I can figure out which ones I'm fighting. Because I want to just like check them all. But it's hard to, like, they respawn after you disengage with them. Maybe I should just like tear through these all one at a time so that I can at least verify that they're all not the one that we want. I'll do that with these ones. I will finish each of these pet battles, even if, actually, if I'm gonna do that, then I want to put my new buddy, Scuttle, in my party here. And we'll put him in first, actually. And then we'll make sure that we bring Grumpy. And we're gonna bring the Nexus Weapon, because that's like our team white pet. But we're gonna start with Scuttle. And, have him switch out for... Goodness! Why would you put bees under a tent if I can't battle? There we go. Alright, so nothing here, but I can... I'm not going to capture those, but I can at least get some experience from my buddy. Order up rocks. D&D is fun. Sometimes I like to think about a version of my life where I both have the friends to play it with and the time to play it. And also the time to learn the rest of it, because I didn't actually fully... Like, I played Pathfinder. I played it for like a year, still didn't 100% know what was going on. I need to learn it less on the go. I need to actually study a bit first, because trying to figure things out while in the process of a game is awful, because nobody wants to stop and explain anything. Or like Palior isn't buff, back when buffs were only 5 minutes. There's an add-on for Paladin that cast buffs on people when they whisper to you certain things. Wasn't, didn't they cost regions? Like, somebody could mess with you by spam whispering you and, like, using up all of your Librams or whatever. Kill if it doesn't measure up. Yeah, I was trying to avoid that because of the extra time and... Oh no. Oh no, I need to... Scuttle, get out of there, buddy. Scuttle, this is not the place for you. Scuttle, you're not going to finish that fight, I'm sorry. I was not paying attention. How did he get in there? Did I switch him in? Nobody died. Tail Smash. Oh, Tail Smash forces a pet to swap in. Interesting. Alright, well, Scuttle is level 5. I forgot to put on my Safari hat, so that's why he's not level 7. Toy box. Safari hat. Man, I haven't used that in a while. 10% extra pet battle experience. Alright. So, nothing there. And let's go ahead and fight this one if we can. Obstructed. There we go. Not actually that bad. Okay. So, at least we're a little hardier now. There is Still that guy with Tail Smash, so I'll have to keep an eye out for that. I want a Blood Mage Sand Laney class. The Shadow Priest talents just doesn't do it for me. I think they should take all of the Blood Mage and Vampiric stuff out of Shadow, commit fully to the Old God thing. If you want to add some extra stuff, add some Deep Sea stuff. That'd be cool. And then give the Vampiric Sand Laney stuff to a Blood Mage class. I could see them doing that. That just sounds really cool. EverQuest 2 Bard was so fun. I started playing D&D like 2 years ago. I'm still new. Symbol of Kings. That's what it was. Yeah, I knew it wasn't a Libram, but it's something like that. Alright, so I'm gonna watch out for this tail thwap. Also, this icon does not look like a tail, and instead, or tail smash. I should have known they wouldn't actually call it tail thwap. Looks less like a tail and more, I guess it looks like a disembodied tail. Not really what you want. Alright, Scuttle, get out of there. You've already proven your worth, buddy. You don't need to be in there. Sacred Candles for Prayer of Spirit. Yeah, I remember those. Those went, like, I barely remember those, because I started playing in Wrath towards the end of Wrath. And that was when, like, beginning of Kata was when they took out ammo. It was when they took out, I think they put Hunters on Focus at the beginning of Wrath as well. And they also took out those consumables, I think. I think those lasted up until the end of Wrath. Thoughts of Tinker classes for Gnomes and Goblins only. They could have a Hero class and a Shredder. I think I like the idea of a Tinker class better as the way that you're pitching it, where it is for Gnomes and Goblins only, than for everything. I never really liked the thought of it before, but as a Gnome Goblin only class, I think that's actually very cool. I don't know if that would hurt or help its representation, but I actually like it when you pitch it like that with like the mech thing. That'd be neat. Play Shamans and Wizards. Okay, so I want a B. I want a rare B. If I try and commit to streaming until I get a rare B, I'm going to be here until actually tomorrow. I will try one more time. We will give the rare B thing one more go, because at least we're leveling our friend Scuttle. This is actually a good thing to do. Darn it. Alright, well, whatever. This is not a bad way to level pets. Just, like, commit to only catching rare pets, killing every team that you engage, and doing so with a new pet that you have to level on you. That's how I level my pets. It's not a bad idea. Yeah, Focus got interested in Kata. That was it. That was it. Because I remember I played a Hunter. I played a BM Hunter and Wrath a little bit. I played Hunter and Priest. And Holy Priest. I didn't Shadow back then. And I remember being a mana hunter, a mana-based hunter. But that's like the only back in my day thing I can really say. Most of my WoW experiences are from Kata and later, and that's kind of when they introduced the more modern systems. In my opinion, the Golden Age, like Transmog and account-wide pets and account-wide mounts and account-wide achievements. Good stuff. We take it for granted these days. I miss needing regions for some spells. If they made them not take bag slots like they did with quest items, you will be your totem farm. That's a great point. Well, I want to thank you guys for spending this time with me and being so thoughtful and kind and respectful. I did put out a vlog earlier today, so that is now out. I am going to be abandoning the rest of the dungeon guides. They're not done. They probably won't be. But I will be starting to work on raid guides to hopefully get most of them out before the raid opens on September the 4th. So that's what I'll be up to. Thank you guys for all of the memberships. I keep trying to say sponsorships. That's why I keep choking on that word. They changed the name, but thank you for all the memberships and the super chats. It means a lot and it helps a lot, and you guys are the best. I will see you Tuesday, probably. I will probably see you Tuesday for the Mat Run stream.